Hey everyone, Pastor Nat here, and you are listening to Win the Day, 5 minutes in the Bible to help you move closer to Jesus every day. And to help you do that, today we're going to talk about cultivating a posture of patience. I hate waiting. Don't you? I mean, it's so annoying to be told to show up at the doctor's office 15 minutes early, only to sit and wait for another 30 to 45 minutes. Or maybe you're showing up at an amusement park where you take a beeline to the number one ride and you only come to find a 2-hour-long line. Now, regardless of how long you wait, most of the time, the wait was worth it. When you need healing, you'll wait 30, 60, 90 minutes in a waiting room. When you want the thrill ride of your life, you will wait for it. How much more so is our patience important when we are talking about waiting on God? Listen to Paul's writing on this topic in Romans 8. In the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And He who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Waiting on God in the midst of a trial, attack, persecution, or hardship, it's really hard. King David experienced it. Daniel and his friends lived it. Job experienced it. We know Joseph experienced it. Peter, James, and John, they lived it. Guess what? So do we. Part of waiting patiently is knowing and trusting in God's faithfulness and His plan. You see, what gets us into trouble is when we don't trust God. It's what got Adam and Eve into our sin mess. It's what caused tension in the life of Abraham. It's what gets me into trouble today. I want to wait on God, but I think my timetable or my plan is better. Unfortunately, it just gets me into trouble. Thankfully, God knows what we need and when we need it. God knows how to grow us and mature us perfectly. God knows the best way forward. That's why God says, for His children, those who love Him, all things, no matter how bad, no matter how painful, they will work together for good. So whatever hardship, whatever disappointment you're facing, God's not going to waste it. He will use it for good. So here's my challenge for you today. Wait. Waiting is so hard. Waiting is so frustrating. That is, unless you know that the one you're waiting on is the best at what he or she does. And friend, with God, there is none better. So wait on God. Take your eyes off the situation and fix them back on your provider. He will never leave you. He won't disappoint you, and He will never forget about you. So I encourage you, wait on God and wait for the blessings that will follow. When you do this, friend, you will win the day.